Our next speaker is a gentleman that many of you have known. I've known for many years. His name is Walter Smith. Walter grew up on a small family farm in Robeson County. He's a Farm Bureau member. Walter now lives in Yadkinville, North Carolina, lives on a small farm in Yadkinville in Yadkin County. He attended North Carolina State University, graduated a degree in agricultural engineering. He currently serves on the North Carolina Agriculture Foundation Board at NC State and the Agricultural Alumni Board at NC State. Walter Smith taught vocational agriculture at Beargrass High School in Martin County for a number of years. He is a former mayor of Booneville, North Carolina in Yadkin County. His professional career, he worked over 30 years for the USDA's FSA agency in that department. And after retiring from the FSA, he now owns and operates a small farm in Yadkin County. Walter Smith has filed to run for Commissioner of Agriculture on the Democratic ticket. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Walter Smith to the podium.
It's an honor to be here with you today. The North Carolina Farm Bureau is blessed with great leadership, but its most important asset is you, the members. My father was very active in the Farm Bureau in Robeson County, and he attended very many of the national conventions. And I'm here today not only as a candidate for Commissioner of Agriculture, but a voting delegate and a longtime member of the Farm Bureau. It's important to me. As Larry said, I grew up on a family farm in St. Paul's, North Carolina, probably someplace you've never heard of, but it's in Robeson County. We grew tobacco, corn, cotton, soybeans, and small grains. We also raised hogs and cattle, so we were a very diverse family farm. And I learned a lot of life's most important lessons from my parents. I remember my father taught me the value of putting in a full day's work. A lot of times we would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to take out a barn of tobacco because we didn't have another barn to put that day's harvest in. So we'd get up, take it out, stack it on a trailer, then we'd start harvesting at 8 o'clock. 5 o'clock, all the rest of the hands went home. My father and I, we started taking the tobacco off the trailer and putting it in the pack house. You know, after a few times, I kind of got the nerve to ask him, I said, Dad said, why don't we quit at 5 o'clock when everybody else is through? He looked at me and all he said was, we don't quit until the job is done. Now that didn't set over too well with me when I was young, but as I got older, you know, I realized that's a good philosophy for life. You know, if we start something, then we need to finish it. We don't quit until the job is finished. Now, there was also other important lessons that I learned, you know, growing up on the farm and in a rural community. And that is that our communities were just like an extended family. If someone needed assistance, then we should be there ready to help at a moment's notice with no questions asked. And there was another important lesson that I learned, and this was after I graduated from NC State University, when I thought I had all the answers. You know, college graduates always knows everything. So I'd go back home, help on the farm, and when something came up, of course, I was always ready to offer a solution to my father. Well, after 2 or 3 times of that, he finally looked at me and said, do you know what an educated fool is? So I learned what an educated fool was, but more importantly, I found out that most problems can be solved with a little bit of knowledge and a lot of common sense. Now, these are some of the same values I'm sure most of you learned growing up in a rural community. And this is what made North Carolina great. But we're losing the battle. Our rural communities are growing smaller each year. We're one of the leading states in the nation in the loss of farmland and family farms. And as you look at this sign, it says 98% of all farms are family farms. What happens when these farms are gone? Now, we must find new ways to keep our small farms, our family farms profitable, and to attract younger farmers. The average age of a farmer is around 58 years old. And it can be accomplished through increased use of specialty crops, creating more value-added crops, creating more sustainable ventures, and also by partnering the Department of Agriculture with our land-grant universities, our extension service, and we can find new young farmers who are willing to go on this farm and be involved in agriculture. I've been around the state and I've talked to a lot of elderly farm owners. They don't know what they're going to do. They don't want to sell the farm. They don't want to give up farming. They have no children to take the farm owner. So this is a solution to this problem. We can take these farmers, and they were all, just about every one of them said they were willing to mentor a young farmer. And if we've got the things in place to match these farmers, these elderly farmers who are looking for somebody to work on their farm with a young farmer that's interested in getting to agriculture, then we can keep these small farms in business. We can make them profitable, and we can bring back young people into farming. And this will keep our rural communities strong in our farmland and ag production. But as we go back to these values that we all hold so true to heart, we also need to look to the future. The face of agriculture is changing. We've come a long way since 1960, when one farmer could feed about 26 people. Now a farmer feeds 155 people. To keep agriculture growing into the 21st century, we need new ideas and innovative solutions. We must change the way that we market our crops. Now, research has shown that consumers want to know now where the food comes from and how it was grown. So in order to meet this demand, we have to do a better job of personalizing each farmer and telling the story behind our food. Now, we can actually increase market growth by studying how food is wasted. North Carolina State University is just starting a new research project, and they're going to determine just how much food is wasted at the farm level. It's been estimated that some crops lose as much as 50% of the crop from waste at the farm due to things such as harvesting practice, low market prices, and because the food just simply doesn't meet the retail standards. Now, this food is still safe and nutritious to eat. And as a result of this study, hopefully we can find ways to save and market this food. Now, this means more profit to the farmers, more food available to feed the hungry, and in some cases we can almost double the yield per acre just by saving this wasted food. And there's one other important tool in keeping agriculture strong in the 21st century, and that's the new plant science research facility that's to be built on the NC State campus. We're going to have to double our food supply in the next 35 years to feed an expected population of 9 billion people. Now, this world-class facility will lead the way to increased crop yields, nutrition diversification, sustainability, and extended growing seasons. And this plant science initiative is part of the Connect NC bond proposal. And so I encourage each of you to go out, support this bond issue, and talk to other people when you go to vote on March 15th. Now, I'm excited about the future of agriculture in North Carolina. We have so much to offer, but only if we're prepared for the changes coming our way. North Carolina is the third most diverse agriculture state in the nation, and we have almost every type of climate and soil type. The potential for growth in the agriculture industry in North Carolina is unlimited if we have the right leadership. Now, I'm just a country boy who believes family values and a common sense approach to solving problems. And I was lucky to have grown up on a small farm, lucky to have God-fearing, loving parents, received a great education from North Carolina State University, had the opportunity to work with young leaders of tomorrow, and to serve the farmers of this state for over 30 years with the U.S. Department of Agriculture. And now I ask for your support and look forward to working with each of you as we lead North Carolina agriculture into the 21st century. Thank you.